Everyone, Voodoo here. So a little bit late in the video today. My apologies there. I've been pretty busy. I was expecting more changes to come out Wednesday, so today, so I have a video tomorrow. It was a bit busier because it came out on Tuesday. I rated Tuesday, have a full-time job. Pretty busy guy right now, but we have more Demon Hunter changes, so of course we're going to go over them. We have some stuff for just generic Demon Hunters, the class tree, some stuff for Havoc, and some stuff for Vengeance. Overall, very happy with everything. We're not going to spend too long on this intro here. We'll get right into it. But before we do, make sure you like the video. Make sure you comment down below what your favorite change is. Let me know. And then also hit the subscribe button. We got a lot of supporters recently. Thank you all for the new subscribers. And let's keep going. Let's keep pushing. Let's try to hit around 10,000 by the end of the year would be great. So with that out of the way, let's get right on to some changes. So these are the first changes. These are all of them. We'll talk over this and then we'll swap like back and forth between the tree and stuff. So first we'll cover class stuff. So many talents have changed locations and or connections. Now, we're gonna hop to the tree in a second. Very, very different. I really do like it, the new tree. It's a lot like a more modern class tree, less like the old one we had, which is really good. New talent, Champion of the Glaive. Thorglaive has 2 charges and a 10-yard increased range. This is a choice node against Master of the Glaive, which is 2 charges and a slow. I like this. It helps you in cases where you don't need that slow, like in Raid, or in like, I don't know, like Sanguine weeks or something, I guess. And this basically gives you a 40-yard range on Glaive, which is just a ranged ability, which I think is really cool. Fodder the Flame is gone. It's dead. Fodder is dead. Now, lots of people did enjoy Fodder, but I just think there were a lot of issues they'd have to work around, and instead of just taking time to iterate through those issues, they didn't really have that. So I think removing it is a fine option. Not really too bad in the grand scheme of things. Unleash Power is also gone, but Chaos Nova cooldown reduced to 45 seconds and Fury cost reduced to 25. So Unleash Power is gone, but they've kind of baked in a nerfed version to Chaos Nova. So Chaos Nova is still only 1 point, but now it has like half of Unleash Power's ability, which is really good there. The sigil talents no longer give you DPS increase by making the duration last longer. And then finally, Live by the Glaive heal value increased to 4%. So these are all pretty good changes overall. So we hop here onto the PTR. We can take a look at the tree. So looking at the tree here, very, very, very different from where it was before. If you look at like the third gate here, like all like these points down here, nothing's actually changed that much down here. All this is the same. Fodder is gone, so we have Collective Anguish again. But for the top, it's changed drastically. So all the DPS options have been moved out of the first gate. Besides Bouncing Glaives, that is still a DPS node. You see here, lots of things changed to 1 point, lots of different pathing options added. You really do have a lot of different choices in the top of the tree here now, which I think overall really, really good. You see down at the bottom here, this is kind of where the DPS comes in. We have 3 nodes here that all serve to increase DPS. Aura of Pain, it's just like it's passive, it's very minor, but hey, you know, DPS is DPS. Fellblade's here now, and then we also have Champion of the Glaive versus Master of the Glaive. I do think in most cases Champion is going to be better in like, unless you're in like Mythic Plus. If you're Mythic Plus, I think Master Glaive is going to be really good unless you kind of don't want the slow. So a good choice node, I think. I think you'll often be swapping between these two, which is very, very good. Other movements down here, they put Pursuit over here, followed by Hellfire Haste, so like a little bit like movement speed. This is like PvP stuff, Lost in Darkness, the sigil placements. These are just macros, by the way, so you'll never take this, which is like fine. They've moved this down and buffed it. Overall, pretty good stuff. Nothing too much to complain about it now. I do think it's really good. Again, I do think maybe Darkness could be moved up into the top row here. Maybe make these 1 point. I don't know. There's some weird things you could do. But you're basically not going to be able to take Improved Darkness because you want to come down and get Flames of Fury because that's a damage increase. Now, you could drop all that and just pick up this for like survivability and Fury and stuff, but, you know, damage. But overall, really happy with the class tree. If this ships like this, I'm happy with it. I have no qualms. I'm very happy. In Rage, you could do this. In Mythic Plus, you could do something like this. There's a lot of different options here. You can even grab Chaos Fragments that whenever you stun, you get Fury from it, which is kind of cool. But yeah, grand scheme of things, really, really cool changes. Happy with this. And we shift back over to the post here. We can talk about Havoc. So lots of different changes for Havoc. Less so in form of actual abilities, more so in like talent changes, and then also just tier set changes. So many talents have changed locations or been combined into choice nodes, primarily among those in the bottom half of the tree. So for those longtime viewers of the channel, those who've been watching the last few 10.2 update videos that we've been going through, then you'll know that Havoc has a lot of problems in the bottom of its tree, particularly in the fact that Havoc Demon Hunter had 19 points before. This has been changed. It goes down to 16 now, which is the average. But they had 19 points, which was third highest. Windwalker had 20, which was ahead of us there. And then Ellie had 23. But out of those, Havoc Demon Hunter had 43% or so of all their total points in the bottom gate, which was second only behind Elemental Shaman, which was in like the 50s, I think. But even then, Elemental Shaman had like more points overall, so it wasn't like as big of a deal, rather than Havoc, who didn't really have that many points to begin with. So that's been changed, which is really good. They renamed Soul Rend because if we just go check the tree right now, this is Soul Rending. This used to be Soul Rend. It is now Soul Scar. Very minor change. Doesn't actually impact anything. Initiative critical strike chance was nerfed by 2%. Pretty minor nerf overall. Will make us a little bit worse on pull and stuff like that. Combined with fodder, these do work out to be nerfs, which is good. Like we definitely need to be tuned down a little bit. If these are the only nerfs we get, which I don't know if that's the case, we'll have to wait and see, then we're still going to be very, very happy. So don't worry about that. We'll have to see. Fel Barrage was changed too. So now has a max duration of 8 seconds. Theory cost was cut in half, and the damage has been reduced by like 30% roughly. So this is a pretty big nerf, honestly, for Fel Barrage. So you're always going to hit 8 seconds now, pretty like easily. Like you don't even really need IV like before. But Fel Barrage now is not going to do as much damage, and also is not going to last for as long. And I think that's fine. There were sims that like Bees and other like some of the Simcraft guys in the Havoc Discord had cooked up that were getting like Fel Barrages of like a minute 30 seconds, a minute 20 seconds, or like longer, 2 minutes even. I think I saw 130 seconds one time, which was like 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So it turned out to be very, very easy to extend Fel Barrage to levels that would equate that of Breathless Nergosa. Now the damage for this wasn't that great, but the playstyle to do that was like miserable. Like it was like you took Demon's Bite, you used your I-Beam solely to extend Fel Barrage, you didn't use your second meta because it cost you a GCD, and the damage was like actually pretty similar to other builds. I think in like 10.1 gear, it was like 6k behind the top simming thing, while it being able to do like really good like AoE damage. So definitely an issue there. So this has been changed. They capped it, they nerfed it. I think Fel Barrage is pretty dead now. I think it's like a fun meme thing. I don't know if we're ever going to play it. We'll see. But overall, I think good changes in the end. Like Fel Barrage is a fun little meme button, but when you make it like the core of a rotation like that and like warp your entire build around it, I think it does become problematic to say the least, but we'll see. Now the tier set changes are also in. I briefly touched on these last week if I remember, but basically the two-piece has been redesigned. Blade Dance will consume a charge of Throw Glaive to like throw a real one at the enemy for 100% damage. This real one will throw 2 glaives with Furious Throws. It will interact with Cycle of Hatred and everything else. And then each slash also has a 50% chance to throw glaive at enemy for 35% damage. Now these random glaives will not double throw with Furious Throws. They will not interact with Cycle of Hatred. Right now there's a bug on PTR where they are interacting with Cycle of Hatred, which is making them like better than they needed to be. So definitely watch out for that. That bug should be fixed. We have confirmation from Reels that that is not intended, and he will fix that if that happens. So don't expect that to stick around. And the force stat has also been updated. Throw Glaive reduces the remaining cooldown of the hunt by 2 seconds. Now again, this was changed. So before, every glaive you threw reduced it by 0.4. So if you threw one with Furious Throws, it would be like 2 glaives, which was actually 0.8 seconds. Now this is every instance of like the ability. So every glaive is 2 seconds no matter how many you throw. So if you throw 2 glaives with like just normal throw glaive, it's going to be 2 seconds off the hunt, not 4. So keep that in mind. This brings hunt down to like 50 seconds, 45 seconds, between 45 seconds and a minute, depending on how many glaives you're throwing, which is much better. You get a lot of extra cast out of it. And then the dot now lasts 6 seconds longer instead of 4, which makes the hunt do a lot of damage. So we're going into the game here. This is just a random build. Don't worry about this. This is not what we're going to be playing. We're doing something like this most likely. 1 second. Like this. This is probably what our single target build is going to be. Let me just grab this real quick. I'll show you guys how much hunt damage does. We'll cover this in a second, but I just want to talk about the tier set. So if I hunt in here and I just start throwing out some glaives, you'll see that if I push my Blade Dance, you can kind of see my glaive charges here. I push it and it's going to throw out a glaive. And then every glaive I throw out is going to reduce the hunt by a pretty sizable amount, honestly. So we do a little opener here. We're not using like inertia or anything properly. But you can see, like, just with my little opener, lots of time is being taken off the hunt here. Like, that was like 4 or 5 seconds for one press of death sweep. So you get a lot of CDR off of the hunt now. And look at our damage breakdown. The hunt dot, it's like 5% of my damage there, and you get it like every 40 seconds roughly, something similar to that. So you end up getting like a ton of CDR on the hunt. Right here, we'll get another one. Hunt's back, we'll use it. Another dot lasts for a long time. You can see like 10 seconds. So a lot of damage is going to come from the hunt now. You can see right here, it's doing a pretty sizable amount of our single target. But the big thing is the talent tree changes. So pretty much everything in the top half of the tree didn't change, so don't worry about that. The big changes came in the bottom of the tree. So a few things. Essence Break got moved over one, so you could take it from the middle now. A Fell Barrage got moved to the right side, and then a Fire Inside got moved to the left side. This is important because a Fire Inside is pretty much really synergistic with Inertia and with Unbound Chaos instead of stuff over here, which I think is really good because you'd want to path down to get this anyways. It will eventually open up more build options. But for now, I think it's a good place for it. They also turned all of these into choice nodes, these three here. So Chaos Theory and Glaive Tempest are now a choice node. Makes this a lot easier to get because they also added a path from the middle to the left and right side here. They've made Relentless Onslaught and Soul Scar, which is the Soul Rend, a choice node. They moved Serrated Glaive up. Then finally, they made Restless Hunter and Inner Demon a choice node. I think overall, these are good. This is like single target and AoE. This is like single target Shattered Destiny stuff, and then like Throw Glaive AoE stuff. And this one's kind of like, this is like AoE and this is like single target, but I think this is probably the weakest choice node because Inner Demon is generally just stronger than Restless Hunter, right? Like you drop Restless Hunter before you drop Inner Demon. So I don't know if this is a good choice node or not, but I think overall it's really good. So in the grand scheme of things, Havoc's tree is amazing. I'm really happy with this now. There are actual choice nodes. Like, this builds us up for the future as well, just like going forward through different patches, through like builds and stuff like that. We'll have to see in the long scheme of things about how Cycle and Shattered Destiny work out, because right now they're very bad, especially with all the glaive stuff we have. But I could see them in the future being more valuable. But overall, very, very happy with all the Havoc things. The spec feels really fun to play for me on the PTR. The tree is just completely reimagined. So I'm a happy camper. Gameplay's fun. The tree has choices now, and it's like actually interesting to look at, and I could see a bunch of different fun builds coming up. Oh, I just realized my camera was blocking the damage breakdown of the hunt and stuff. So let me pull that back up for you guys. Wow, I'm so sorry. Here's just a random thing. So hunt dot 6.2%, hunt initial hit 4%. So hunt's doing like 10% of our damage. That's just, there you go. Sorry for that, blocking the wrong side here, my bad. I'll just have to put a note up in the video. But yeah, Havoc tree, really, really good, really interesting, and I really, really like it. So Havoc stuff, cool. We're gonna swap over, put our tanking hat on, and we're gonna look at Vengeance stuff really quickly as well, because they also got some changes. All right, so Vengeance. The Vengeance also got a pretty solid amount of changes to them. Most of them are like tuning, which is interesting. I don't know why they're starting tuning phase already, but hey, you know, why not? But you see a few talents have changed locations. We'll check it out in a second. Sheer damage and fraction increased by 10%. Soul Glaive increased by 7, and Throw Glaive increased by 30. I mean, overall, like, you're not going to complain about that. Just a little bit of a damage buff up. Offsets a bit of the 2-point losses, because obviously things were nerfed from 2 down to 1 point. Throw Glaive, I don't know why, like, it's still just going to be like a threat tool to pull far away things. That's helped with a new talent. Jamming the Glaive, because you have like a 40-yard ranged pull now, which is cool. But yeah, interesting stuff. Calcified Spikes now provides its benefit if Demon Spikes is refreshed in addition to when it expires, and then Demon Spikes can no longer be canceled manually. I think this is a good change for play, like just like playing the spec, because before, like, if you needed another charge of Demon Spikes but also wanted that reduction from Calcified Spikes, you just cancel Aura Demon Spikes and then put up another one, which I think is really counterintuitive. So now you can just kind of refresh that and get the damage reduction instead of having to like cancel Aura your Demon Spikes, which is weird. So not a super impactful change in my opinion, but like pretty good overall. Meteoric Strikes was buffed, now does 10 seconds instead of 8 seconds. CDR reduction, this was moved, so it makes sense. Flame Fortification now reduces magic damage while Immolation Aura is active by 12% instead of 10. Again, minor buff, but good. Piece of Soul's healing value increased by 100%, but no longer has an initial tick. Bulk extraction cooldown reduced to 1 minute. Soul barrier absorb values increased by 28%. So all of these things were made to buff up the right talents, even these ones as well. Buff up the weak right side of the tree. It buffed them, but I don't believe that this is actually going to be much of a significant change. I don't think you're going to use them still. I think they're just kind of there, not really doing anything serious that way. And then finally, Fire Demise now increases fire damage dealt to fiery brand targets by 50% at max, 25 and 50 instead of 20 and 40. And Focus Cleave now increases soul cleave damage to prior targets by 50%, was 40%. So most of these, again, are just going to be damage increases for the most part. We can see here lots of things have been moved around. So Fracture and Throw Glaive were swapped. So, you know, if you don't need to get perfectly balanced glaive for whatever reason, you can now just not take it. But again, I don't know why you wouldn't, because Spirit Bomb is here. Piece of Souls was buffed. You'll never take this for the most part. And then all these talents are reshuffled. So Ascending Flame was moved from here all the way up here, and these things were kind of just shuffled down. So Meteoric Strikes is here now, does 10 seconds instead of whatever it was before, I think 8. This is buffed to do 12% instead of 10, and then these are buffed as well, just adding to this, and then this is 1 minute now. So good changes, you know, nothing crazy, but like overall, I don't know. I think as Vengeance, you're still happy with these. Good changes overall. These talents are still not pickable, basically, but they're easy to avoid now, which is fine. You get the Ascending Flame stuff. You get to overlap your sigils here with your 2 charges. I can go in here. I can Sigil Flame, and I can silence Sigil twice, because like why not? Look, I can just do that. I don't have this on bar. I can do this twice. Look at this. Look at me. I'm just putting sigils everywhere. So, you know, pretty interesting gameplay loop there. I don't have this anywhere either, but you can just drop a ton of sigils. Like, look at all the sigils I'm dropping, and then every sigil I drop reduces the CD of my other sigils. So you are going to be a sigil factory as a Vengeance Demon Hunter now with these builds. They're going to do pretty good damage. So my flame's coming back off again now. I can just use it. Gonna reduce all my sigils by 3 seconds, which means I can then, you know, get more sigils, silence sigils off, more sigils. So you get the idea. You got a lot of sigils as Vengeance now, which I think is pretty fun and pretty interesting, and like actually plays into that play style of sigils for Vengeance, which was a thing that was like not really explored before. And you also just have this. So this has 30% increased chance to parry attacks now, which was 20 before. Now I don't know what's going to end up being like the final number there. Not really a thing we can know off the top of our heads. We'll have to wait and see. If I put this down, my parry is going to be massively increased, or they just don't get the buff actually. All right, well, ignore that. They didn't actually get the thing on them, but you know, you get the idea. You have a lot of sigils now. All your sigils reduce your other sigils, so you're pogging out of your mind. You're having fun. There's a lot of sigils going on. So here I have about 20% more parry. So this number needs to be fixed and checked, but overall, I think it's pretty good. Pretty happy with Vengeance stuff. Vengeance was in a good place already. It's in a better place now. Nothing really too bad about that, you know. Pretty good all around. All right, so that is going to be it for this round of changes. I think we're at a spot now where I wouldn't expect to see too many more like class tree changes or spec tree changes, anything like that. Maybe Vengeance gets like one or more things. But I think at this point, what we're doing is we're going to see like tuning, and that's about it. So we'll see things come in. We'll see things be tuned. But I think both specs are in really good spots now. But I don't know. Let me know. What's your favorite change so far? What do you think? I'll have more coverage content coming up as well. Probably, I don't know, this weekend maybe we'll see something. But pretty good stuff overall. I'm really happy. I'm really excited to get into playing Havoc and Vengeance on the live servers once 10.2 drops. Raids gonna be fun. The new Mythic Plus Dungeon seems pretty interesting. The new changes with Havoc and Vengeance seem really great. So I'm happy, I'm excited, and I think you should be too. So let me know down below what your thoughts are. Like the video, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Become a channel member if you want to support me. Follow me on Twitch, join my Discord. All those links in the description. I appreciate you all. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. A big thank you to all of my channel members. Thank you, Andrew Keenel, 121, Payne, Andreas Latinakis, Joshua O'Connell, Period, Brad Wisniak, Zuligan, Exclamation, It's Bulk, and Flapjack67. Thank you all so much. It means the world to me. If you want to support myself, get some exclusive videos, get some emotes for comments, get an exclusive section of my Discord, then follow the link down below. Help me out a little bit. It's a great way to support me. But again, thank you all so much for helping keep the channel going and for all the support and everything. And appreciate you all. See you guys next time.